In India's development sector, a specific logic dictates how resources move. Capital rarely flows directly to the places experiencing the deepest human deprivation. Instead, it gravitates toward corporate proximity and network fluency. This map illustrates the discrepancy. While states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Jharkhand face severe multidimensional development challenges, the bulk of philanthropic capital drops heavily onto states like Maharashtra, Delhi, Gujarat, and Karnataka. This geographic mismatch is a direct result of regulatory design, specifically Section 135 of the Companies Act, which governs corporate social responsibility, or CSR, spending. Section 135 includes a local area preference. This clause incentivizes large companies to direct their required CSR funds to the areas immediately surrounding their headquarters, factories, and operational supply chains. Because the vast majority of major corporate headquarters are absent from states like Bihar, these regions are systematically starved of CSR capital. The money stays locked to the corporate footprint. This design makes CSR an unreliable primary funding source for rural grassroots NGOs. It is a system engineered to follow corporate footprints, not social need. Historically, grassroots organizations bypassed this domestic funding gap through a workaround. They received subgrants from larger, internationally funded NGOs that passed foreign capital down the chain. That channel was effectively closed by the 2020 amendments to the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, or FCRA. Specifically, FCRA Section 7 strictly prohibits registered organizations from transferring or subgranting any foreign contributions to smaller frontline NGOs. If a local organization wants foreign funding today, it must manage the international compliance directly. This creates a structural double bind. Frontline NGOs are geographically locked out of domestic CSR and legally blocked from indirect international aid. To survive, these organizations must pivot away from relying on CSR and foreign workarounds. Instead, they need an access bridge, a deliberate system built to unlock flexible domestic philanthropy, tapping into family offices and institutional donors. The capital exists. Generosity is not the missing variable. What is missing is the engineered infrastructure required to route that flexible capital to rural NGOs. The first barrier to securing flexible domestic capital is how local NGOs present themselves. Grassroots organizations often operate as multi-sector entities, tackling health, education, and climate simultaneously. Pitching a vague, generalized identity alienates institutional donors who require precise, measurable impact. Pillar 1 creates a formalized giving portfolio. Scattered activities filter into neat investment tiers. Instead of funding the whole organization, the NGO presents structured options, like a climate resilience pilot. Each product must contain strict data points: target community, intervention model, budget, and evidence. Productizing interventions in this manner shifts the donor dynamic. It moved the relationship away from a plea for charity toward a structured, credible investment opportunity. The second structural barrier is linguistic. There is a stark cultural gap between how field reality is documented, often in local dialects, and the polished English expected by institutional donors. Forcing frontline field workers to write complex English reports is an operational mistake. It distracts them from their core competency, building local trust and authenticity within the community. The solution is Pillar 2, establishing an internal bilingual storytelling desk. The workflow is simple. Field teams submit raw, localized inputs, such as photos, quick data points, and voice notes. The internal desk then translates this raw intelligence into donor-ready English case studies, impact snapshots, and compliance updates. Solving this communication gap operationally ensures that an NGO's proximity to a problem is no longer misread by donors as a lack of organizational sophistication. Even with a clear portfolio and polished reporting, NGOs face serious friction during donor due diligence. Institutional funders naturally hesitate when unsure about a grassroots organization's financial governance and legal compliance. Pillar 3 is the Trust Passport, a preemptive due diligence folder. Essential compliance documents like 12A ADG, CSR1, governance policies, and audited financials consolidate into a single verifiable asset. Receiving this complete package instantly generates funder confidence, whereas repeatedly asking for basic documents breeds doubt. For organizations operating in underfunded states, strict legal and financial compliance is not administrative paperwork. It is the bedrock of their fundraising infrastructure. The most invisible barrier for a rural NGO is geographic isolation from wealth. They operate completely outside the elite referral networks, family offices, and foundation program officers based in major metros. Pillar 4 is the validator circle. An isolated NGO leverages 5 to 7 credible allies, sector leaders, or academics. These validators do not provide funds. Their sole purpose is trust transfer, validating impact claims and providing warm introductions to reach a massive pool of capital. Once those introductions are made, the NGO executes Pillar 5, launching a proactive funder circle. The organization hosts curated 75-minute digital roundtables to pitch their giving portfolio to a vetted audience. Combining a validator circle with proactive convening effectively hacks the network gap. It allows an isolated organization to engineer its own visibility, rather than waiting to be discovered by traditional philanthropy. With the architecture of the bridge designed, the focus shifts to 90-day operational execution. The objective is not general awareness. It is the movement of capital. Success requires stringent operational metrics. The NGO must track the exact time it takes to respond to institutional due diligence requests and maintain a strict 100% on-time delivery rate for all donor reporting. This dashboard tracks the 12-month conversion funnel. 100 priority funders yields 30 warm introductions. From these, the NGO submits 12 concept notes. At the bottom of the funnel, this results in 5 rigorous proposals to institutional donors. The ultimate benchmark of success for this system is clear. Within 1 year, a historically isolated grassroots NGO should close 2 to 5 distinct grants, securing between 1 and 5 crore rupees in flexible domestic capital. The logic of the access bridge points to a single conclusion. High-need states like Bihar do not lack capable organizations, and the wider ecosystem does not lack money. They lack a structural connection. Waiting for CSR regulations to expand or for FCRA rules to loosen is a failed strategy. Passive reliance on a broken system will only perpetuate geographic inequality. If domestic philanthropy truly intends to be needs-led, it must move beyond what is geographically familiar. By utilizing this access bridge, capital can finally reach the specific communities that need it most.